I can see you. You're looking at me with those eyes, and I can tell you're out for blood. You want Kool-Aid? You want it of the maroon variety? You've come to the right place. Ask, and you shall receive. Ags win 52-10. That's juice. Weekman throws 5 TDs and no INTs. More juice. Evan Stewart has 2 TDs, 115 yards. Sink your teeth into that, you bloodsuckers. This is the post-game overreaction. I'm your host, Central. Today, we're turning on the spigot. Full tilt. We'll be talking about it in all the maroon Kool-Aid. I'll give you my honest opinion about every aspect of this team from week 1. Everything that's got me foaming at the mouth. I'll talk about all the concerns I have moving forward, and then we can do a quick season outlook, okay? And kind of preview what happened over in the SEC throughout this week 1. Like, stick with me because just like Kyle Field, there's free refills all season long. And this is going to be exhaustive, y'all. I'm not holding back. There are so many great things to talk about. We've been waiting a long time, and so I'm going to take my time. But I'm going to keep it real. So we got a few things to keep it real. We're going to hit the Kool-Aid hard, though. So let's just go ahead and get started. First piece of Kool-Aid that comes to mind is who? Is what? How about Noah Thomas? 3 TDs, 74 yards, 12.3 average. I mean, wow. We heard it over the offseason, but we didn't know it was coming. Some scarcely believed, others were in full bore. It happened. The guy is 100% legit. This wide receiver core is something else. I'm at a loss for words. I really am. Anais, he got his 40. Moose had a TD. Jade Walker, it looks like a dude. And as I said, Evan Stewart before, it's real deep, y'all. Who knew it was going to be this deep? It could get nasty. It's going to be pretty salty. Weigman, 18 for 23. That's 78%, y'all. Completion percentage, 78%. We hadn't seen something like that. It's been too long. It's taken too long to go back and look. 5 TDs from the man, 0 INTs, 236 yards. Don't sniff at that. That's only in 2.5 quarters worth of work. The guy's got a 10.3 average. That's a big number. That's a big number. If you've been here long enough, you know that's a big number. Even Max got in on it too. 6 for 9 and a TD. How about the second team? I'm gonna get to them more. Second team's got something else. Got me really excited. Less than 100 yards rushing given up in an area that we needed to focus on, and they did. Something's going on. I know it's just New Mexico still. There'll be a lot of that talk from a lot of people outside, but we're gonna drink it up tonight, y'all. We are going to drink it up. We got 3 quality backs. The running game, people have been critical of, but we've got 3 quality backs. Amari Daniels, Moss, and Owens are all going to get carries, it looks like. That's kind of what I figured might happen, and I thought maybe Amari Daniels might give way, but he looks the part very well. He's getting across the offensive line. He's getting over into blocks. He's a veteran. So I think he's probably going to hold that job down a bit longer, which is good news because the 2 behind him are really good. They're very good. And so for him to continue to hold out those guys, that says quite a lot. How about a stable O-line? How about that, y'all? And wow, Besantis playing over there on the right side is what more can you say? A freshman getting reps. You just can't. Man, these are things you pray for, and when they come in, you've got to be thankful. Now, Father is probably going to be coming back. I was very excited to see Foster starting. Robinson looked like he's pre 2 years ago, like he's back into his 2020 year. Nebu was fantastic, and Zune looked like, we thought that if his shoulder was injured, that was the reason why he wouldn't play so good last year. And he looks like he's coming along, y'all. This offensive line, this has been the holdout for us. We thought we'd have a good wide receiver core. We thought if we choose the right quarterback, that we would have it. But we weren't sure about the O-line. And they're there. They looked phenomenal, y'all. When the second team came in, it didn't stop. It just didn't stop. And they moved it better than I've ever seen anybody move it for a second team at A&M in my time. You tell me if you've seen a better place. I have not seen it done better. Foster, thankfully, is looking healthy again, and Basanta's filling in for Fathery. And when he gets back, what kind of depth are we going to have, y'all? We're going to have some incredible depth. Don't forget, we still got Dewberry, who played significant minutes last year. They've been talking very highly of Crownover as well. Moko, Strickland look good at center. It's really, really, really a good spot to be in. So let's talk a few concerns, though. And I want to tell you this because I didn't, we mentioned this before. I didn't trust myself last year when we played that Sam Houston State game. And this was the pretty much the total that I guessed online on Twitter. I didn't tell you guys on here, but I had predicted 52-3. And here's why I predicted that. I thought first team would get 42 points. That's what I figured would be realistic. And I hoped that our defense was good enough and deep enough to hold them to 3 points. Now, the 42 points was 10 shy of 52, and I was very well of that. I figured we'd probably come up with a field goal somewhere along the way, and then another touchdown to get to the 52. And that's how you would get to 52, but it would have to come once the second, third string is in. And so for you to get to 52, that meant that this means a lot of things, y'all. Your offense has to do well enough early on, not sputter, start strong, so that they can get the points required so you can bring in the second string. And they did that. And that's something we've been lacking. Okay? But when they get in, when that second string gets in, they've got to move the ball. They've got to go out and get 10 points. So to get 52 points, y'all, is a massive statement. It is a massive statement. It's going to play into my prediction for Miami tomorrow. So tune back in for that. But look across college football. And we'll just go that little 90-minute drive across Texas, real close there nearby. What did we have over there against Rice? It was a 37-10 job kind of situation. Looking at 13 to 3 at the half kind of thing. You tell me, when you're sitting at 13-3 at the half, you feeling good about that? Whatever it's 16-3. You feeling good about that? Think about what 37 means. Scoring 37 points. And that's essentially what we did last year against Sam Houston, right? 31 points. We didn't give up any, but we didn't score 42, and we dang sure didn't score 52. So again, think about what that means. It means that their offense was not able to get it done well enough so they get the second string out there, get enough points so the second string get out there, and then see what they could do. We did that. We have not done that in such a long time. A lot of concerns with the run game that came out pretty quickly, pretty early on for our run game, that we just weren't running it with force, that we should have been shoving it down their throat. I can see that a little bit. It was there. I did go back and look at quite a few things, and I did put some things out on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, go do it. It's a fun time. I put out lots of video over there too, a little bit of analysis. It's a little bit quicker, not as long form like this, so it's just a different kind of form. But I talk about some of these things a little bit more in depth there through text and video. But a lot of times, what was happening was New Mexico was loading the box. One time I counted 10 in the box, y'all. I mean, it doesn't really matter what play you've quite got drawn up. I mean, 10 in the box is a lot. So 8-9 was pretty steady in the box, and that's one of the reasons why we had some difficulty early on, but it got figured out. Kind of the same thing as what happened in the secondary. We had some issues, I thought, early on. I was wondering what was going on. I was concerned because we're giving up some pass plays. They're getting first downs. They're moving the ball, right? These are things I didn't really want to see in the first quarter. I don't want to see them move the ball. I want to see us clamping down and enforcing our will on them. And it wasn't quite happening. And there's some things for that. I wonder if, Chappelle is 100% healthy. Maybe he's got a toe or something. I have no idea if that's true or not. I've not heard anything, but I just wondered. It didn't look like him. So that does concern me a little bit, but we got the passing game, sorted out, and they did much better after that, giving up very little, being pretty stingy, and overall, it was one heck of an effort. So the not only the pass defense, but the rush defense was critical. Both are, particularly the rush defense, very improved. Very, very, very improved. So that's something that was going to check a box for me that I needed to see, because we are going to have to stop the run. We were like 101st in the nation last year. We have got to do better there. And so it looks like that's taking place. It's just New Mexico. We've got a big test coming up in Miami, and we will see more. I want to talk about the outlook, though, too, because now that we've seen what we need to see out of this team, this is something I've been waiting on. We got to think about how we're going to match up with the other teams, right? So, as I had mentioned, I thought we would score 3 points. Well, we scored 10. So, to be fair, before I get to the outlook, I want to at least mention this part, because I think that additional 7 points does point to a little problem. I think it's a little problem. There's something going on, kind of beneath the surface that is maybe going to be a small fester. It's probably not a large issue, but it probably is going to mean something like, yeah, we could get taken advantage of at times, and this is a place where we could be vulnerable. What is that? Maybe it is that defensive passing game. Maybe it's our secondary. Maybe it's on the edges. Hard to say. DeBerry looked fantastic. Wow, that guy stepping up like he did. He had something like 10 tackles, 7 were solo, 1 INT. What a just, who knew this guy was going to come over to us from Boston College, senior, and play these kinds of significant minutes. Most of us kind of thought it was probably going to end up being Tony Grimes, but wow, did this guy play physical. That's probably what won him the job. So huge surprise there. We get equal play on the other side, and they match up well. The secondary is going to be stout. So now, having said that, the outlook is this. Our passing game looks to be legit. Noah Thomas is a weapon. Evan Stewart is a weapon. We've been talking about feeding the studs, and that's exactly what happened. When I'm thinking about these defenses that we're going to face and the other teams and what they're going to have to think of, the first question they're probably going to want to ask themselves is, how many studs are there? I'm having trouble counting them up. It's going to be difficult, y'all. It's going to be difficult. So this wide receiver room is going to be a huge strength for us. Where is that going to help us out? Quite a few places, it turns out. And what it probably means a little bit more is that, the teams that they were worried that we were going to be struggle with, or might be toss-up games, we should be able to probably hang with. And it's a better chance that we will be able to hang with them. So what this game does for me, we can't go win the SEC championship, and this is the real talk part. But we can't go win the West either. And it doesn't mean we automatically get 10-2 or 11-1, 12-0, 8-4. It doesn't mean any of that automatically. But what I think it does is it makes things more likely to take place. Like it makes the plate that we've got in front of us that much more likely to happen because of the way we played this game. Okay, so can we hang around with the Alabamas? Yes, and particularly if we've closed in on that rush game. They're supposed to be playing murder ball this year, which means they're going to try and run it down people's throat and just crush them. It looks like we're going to be able to be built better for that this year. So that's a little shade in our favor. Are we going to be able to score enough points to hang with Tennessee and Ole Miss? Offense looks like that they're going to give us a better shot of being able to do that, right? Great. South Carolina is doing game-cocky things. We saw them lose to UNC. They got their problems. I heard all about them all off season, how they're on the uptick. Well, you know what? Okay, we'll see. So I feel much better about that game. LSU goes over and lays an egg. Jaden Daniels looks pretty good, but they got some issues, right, in that secondary. And it looks like we would be a nice team to take advantage of those things. So I'm liking the way that's shaping up, and people choosing them to win the West. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to beat them come that time, but I got a few predictions still in play, right? Now, who told you that there was going to be a cover on the 38 points? Some people did, some people didn't. I will say I did, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad they covered. I'm glad it went the way it is. It's not to toot a horn or anything like that, but I say it because what I'm trying to do with these predictions this year is really get into the messages that are being sent by the way that we're playing to give accurate predictions. Okay? I don't want to get into the Miami preview too much right now. You're going to have to come back tomorrow for that. But as I said, looking over at them, they did what, 38-3 against Miami. At the half, it's 16-3. 16-3 at the half. Hurricanes, is that what y'all wanted? You're not watching this preview yet, but Aggies, if we were doing that against New Mexico, would you be feeling good right now? Would you be feeling like you were legitimately drinking the Kool-Aid? I would not be. 35 to whatever it was, 7 at the half, feels much better. And to finish it up strong, see the second stringers move the ball, big time, big time. So remember, we can't win anything after the first game, but we sure could have lost it all in the first game. And I could have told you if that we played New Mexico the way we played Sam Houston last year, that those things were almost going to be off the table. Okay? So what we know about this team right now is we got a powerful offense and we're deep. So that means that we should be able to play well into November, whenever my next prediction hopefully will come true, which is that game on what I think November 25th against LSU will mean something. Now, it doesn't mean it has to mean something for them, but it can mean something for us, and they could be coming at us. They might be there, they might not. Who knows? We'll see how their season plays out and ours, but I think that one looks like it's still going to settle in pretty well. We will see. We've got a lot more legs to go. Let me leave you with this, okay? A couple things to take away. Connor is now tied for 5th for most TDs in one game. He was tied for 10th from his effort last year against Ole Miss. He threw 4 TDs that game, and he was in the company of Reggie McNeil, Gary Kubiak. I'm sure there's probably one more that's in there with him. Now he's tied for 5th with Johnny Manziel. 5 TDs in one game. There's you some Kool-Aid right there. Noah Thomas, he's tied for 3rd most TDs in one game. Those 3 Ds he put up last night put him in the books with Christian Kirk. So, like I said, we got some dudes on this team. So this was one hell of an opening performance. Come back tomorrow. I'll tell you what I think about the Hurricanes and where we stand with them when we go to Coral Gables, or Hard Rock actually. We're going to talk about it all then. Until then, take some more sips. You deserve it. And we'll see if we're going to get more next week. Thanks and gig 'em.